Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So we're back and guess what it is? It's another Primarch video. You didn't expect this again. This is part 2 of Return of the Primarchs. The first one was Jagatai Khan. This one is about your glorious boy Vulkan. Mr. You Can't Kill Me. I'm back, baby. That Primarch. So let's jump in and let's speak about the Lord of Drakes. Now Vulkan is a very, very special Primarch because he is a perpetual Primarch. That means that Vulkan cannot die. You can basically stab Vulkan in the eye, you can rip off his head, you can throw him off a cliff. He's just got to come back and it's like, yo, what's up? It's as simple as that. Vulkan cannot die. In the Horus Heresy, he was actually captured and he was put into like a little maze by Conrad Kurz, who basically just tortured him every single day. He burnt him, he stabbed him. I think, if I recall correctly, Vulkan is the only Primarch to die while being stabbed off a fork. I think it was Kurz that stabbed him in the heart with a fork. So Vulkan does hold the title of being shanked with a fork and coming back to life, which is quite an impressive title. I don't think any other Primarch has been killed with cutlery before and come back to tell the tale. Now Vulkan differs from his brothers as well, is that he's a very much a humanitarian Primarch. Like, for example, Vulkan and the Salamanders wouldn't bomb a planet just to kill someone Xenos. Like, they wouldn't dare risk any of the human population. They'd actually go in and try and get the humans out before they start bombing stuff. Whereas other legions and other Primarchs would basically just level the city and say, okay, those humans in the city are just collateral damage, and that is that. The Salamanders, led by Vulkan, are definitely not like that. They put humanity before themselves and the Legion, or I should say now, their chapter. Now, a huge interesting fact which has happened in the Horus Heresy storyline as of now is that Vulkan is present at the Siege of Terra. Him and, if I remember correctly, 3 legionaries made it back to Terra, and he's not going to be fighting in the actual, I say overhead war, like actually at the siege. He's going to be more involved in the secret war where the Golden Throne is. That kind of, like, like the webway battle and stuff like that. He's basically a failsafe. Vulkan has his little pendant, and if Terra is overrun, if the demons do make it through and start butchering everyone, he can basically put this little pendant into the Golden Throne, which just goes full nuclear and just wipes everything out. It'll wipe Terra out, it would wipe everything in the webway out, it would just wipe all the demons out, the psychic backlash would just like rip apart the demons and stuff like that. Vulkan is the Siege of Terra failsafe. You won't see him actually, with his hammer leaping into the fray on the walls and stuff like that. He's basically the guardian at the gate right below Terra, waiting just in case they actually break through. So I'm very much looking forward to see how that plays out when we actually get the books, because it's going to be very interesting to see Vulkan unleashed down there with his nice weapons and his little pendant. And of course he doesn't go full nuclear because we know Terra survives, so that's not going to happen. So we can say with ease right now that Vulkan does defend the gate along with the Custodes and the Sisters down there in the Imperial webway. Now, we know from the War of the Beast, which happened, I think it was 1500 years after the Horus Heresy, if I can recall correctly, that Vulkan was the last remaining Primarch. He was the last living Primarch. They found Vulkan during the War of the Beast. They actually found him on a planet. He was actually just going against a massive orc invasion, killing it himself. And they went, Vulkan, we need you to come back. We need you to lead us. The Beast is about to overthrow Terra. We need you to take us to Ullanor. And we need you to fight the Beast because you're the only one who can deal with it. And he was a bit reluctant because he just wanted to be away from it all. Basically, after the Horus Heresy, I kind of get the sense that he just turned his back on the Imperium. The Imperium had died in his eyes, and he just wanted to walk away from it. But in the end, he agreed. He came back, and he went to Ullanor along with all the Imperial Fist chapters, all the chapters they could rally. There was actually some Salamanders there as well, but he refused to meet the Salamanders, which I found pretty interesting. He just didn't want to meet his sons. I don't know if it was like he didn't want to give them hope or anything like that, but he said, no, keep the Salamanders away from me. Corland, who was an Imperial Fist, he was like, I'll follow you, and your men, I'll lead you, but keep the Salamanders away. So they went into Ullanor, they found the Beast. Vulkan and the Beast had a fight. What happened is that Vulkan like tackled the war boss, well, the Beast, let's call him the Beast, and they both fell onto like these power generators. and these power generators were like amplifying the War, if that makes sense, like the War energy. And what was happening, like all psychers were being like consumed, like their minds, by the War energies. But instead of Vulkan like being completely consumed by it, he basically just like became one with his savage side, still being Vulkan, and gave him all the strength. And he launched one last attack, and he slammed his hammer, his new hammer. I think it was called Doom Tremor or Doom Rock, I think it was Doom Tremor, into the beast's face, and the generators detonated and they blew up, and it caused a massive chain reaction, and the entire temple just like exploded and shattered. And everyone was like, all right, damn, Vulkan's dead, he just sacrificed himself for us, Vulkan and the beast are dead. But you find out later on that the beast survived, and there was just no sign of Vulkan. But we do know that Vulkan can't die, so Vulkan, if he did die, he probably came back and he's like, right, I'm out of here, done my bit, let's just go back to what I was doing. And that brings us on to the return of Vulkan. How can he return? What would happen if Vulkan did return? Now, the lore states now that if you find all the artifacts of Vulkan, that will lead to Vulkan's return. If I recall correctly, have they found 6 artifacts of Vulkan, so there's 3 remaining. There's hints that a Necron may have one and stuff like that, so it may be hard to try and get one. But the story is right now is that to find Vulkan, you have to get all the artifacts of Vulkan. I'm interested to see if maybe Rebute could find him on his own. I don't know, maybe they have that like kind of psychic connection somewhere where it'll lead him to Vulkan, or maybe just Vulkan just comes back himself and just walks in and goes, Rebute, I have returned. You know, something cool like that, just to assist his brother. I'm a massive Vulkan fan. I think Vulkan definitely makes the most sense of a Primarch returning, because like I stated, he can't die, so he's there now in the lore, but he's just not there in the lore, if that makes sense. He's doing something. Vulkan is a peaceful Primarch, so I probably see him doing something like gardening or being a farmer or something. I'm definitely not having a joke when I say that. I really see him just relaxing, just trying to get on with his life, just being secluded somewhere. Maybe something's gonna happen which brings him back into the fold. My suspicion is that if Ghazghkull Thraka turns into a Primarch and he unleashes a massive new war on the galaxy, maybe that may bring him back into the fold again, just like the War of the Beast, but this time he's going to stick around until the end and make sure he finishes it. Maybe that's one of the ways that Vulkan will come back. And like I said, if he comes back, it's going to be absolutely amazing. He's such a beast, Vulkan. He's the strongest Primarch. He's nice. He gets on with everyone. I don't think he's got a bad word to say about any Primarch. You know, like all the Primarchs bitch about each other and stuff like that. Vulkan's not like that. He's always trying to be at peace with his brothers. He's always trying to be friendly with his brothers. He is a very, very nice guy. So let's say Vulkan returned. Let's put it down to this. Let's say Ghazghkull come back as a Primarch. Let's go with my theory. You probably may have another theory. Please post it below. I'd love to read it. But let's say he's come back. He's met with Guilliman. What's he got to do? Is he going to try and overthrow Guilliman? Is he going to say, Guilliman, right, I'm leading now, you're not leading now? No, he's definitely not. He's going to put 100% trust into Rebute. Rebute is the statesman of the Primarchs. He is like the governor of the Primarchs. He knows how to rule people. He knows how to rule people in the efficient and most, well, I say caring way, but you know, the most way where you're not just causing bloodshed all the time. He can do it with ease. He's basically proven it before with the 500 worlds. I know the Imperium is bigger than the 500 worlds, but he has proven it that he can rule a massive empire with ease and get a lot of production out of it, and you know, organize his military and stuff like that. So Vulkan will have absolutely no problem with Rebute taking charge. I think the only problem he may have is how rotted the Imperium has gotten over the time he's been gone. To come back and see the Emperor's dream the way it is now is pretty horrible for any Primarch, to be fair, but I think it may hurt Vulkan the most. Because he was very close with his father. He was always speaking and stuff like that. You know, they forged stuff together and stuff, which was pretty cool. So to see that dream, I won't say in flames, but to say it's rotten. It's, you know, it's a rotten core now of a dream. And I know Rebute is trying to fix it the best he can. But I personally think you just have to start from the ground up again and just get rid of everything and replace it with all new stuff. And maybe that's where he can see himself, just doing that kind of stuff with Rebooty's guidance. Of course, he won't go off and do it on his own. He's always got to follow what Rebooty says, and just basically be Rebooty's weapon. Be Rebooty's weapon. That is probably the title for Vulkan. Is that he'll follow Rebooty into the warp and back, and he will do it with not a single question asked. Alright chaps, that's me done for another video. Sorry if you've heard birds tweeting throughout this full video. I have got my windows open. It's incredibly hot in England at the moment. It's super, super hot. I can't have my window closed or I'll just burn up. This is my second Primarch video. The first one was Jagged Khan. Go and check it out if you haven't watched that already. Please give me all the feedback you can on this video. How would Vulkan come back for you? If he does come back, do you think he's dead? Do you think, you know, maybe his perpetual power has been taken away from him and he's completely dead? Let me know in the comment section and we'll have a nice, awesome little chat. And don't forget to post what Primarch you want next. Vulkan won last week, so what Primarch do you want for week 3? Post it below and then we can get some stuff going. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed it and I shall see you very, very soon. See you now and bye-bye.